Hello, welcome to Lesson 8 Program Control Statements in C Sharp, brought to you by Ankpro Technologies. My name is Harish. In the last session, we learned the iteration statements while, do while, and now it's time to learn the for loop. To understand for loop, we'll jump into slide where it is explained. This is the slide for for loop. For loop is very similar to while loop. It means that whatever the work done by the while loop can be done by the for loop also. In while loop, we do initialization at one place, condition check at one place, modifying the variable at one place. But in the for loop, we do all these things: initialization, condition check, and modifying the variable at one place only. To understand the second and third point, we'll jump into coding. Here is the Visual Studio fired up, and I have multiple projects here: control statements, while loop, and the for loop demo. Now I want for loop to work. So first I will create a array of integers. What is array? Array is a collection of similar data types. To understand what is array, we will see in the next session. Just of now, keep in mind array is a collection of similar data type. Number is equal to new and the size of my array is 3. It means that array is a collection of data types and the size of that array is 3. It means that you can store 3 values to that array. Now once I'm done with this, I'll use the for while loop to print that 3 to print that numbers. Before that, I want to store values to array, that is I want to initialize the values to array. I'll call that variable with that index number, that is array index always starts with 0. Now I'll give it as 100. Now similarly, I'll copy these statements. Since the size is 0, the values it can hold is in the index 0, 1 and 2. And I have to change it here also, 2, and it is 200. This is 300. Once I am done with this, my array is initialized and I have stored the values 100, 200 and 300. The size of the array is 300 and it holds 3 values, that is 100, 200 and 300 in the index 0, 1 and 2 respectively. Now I'll use the while loop to print this numbers on the console. While I less than, I can give it as 3, or I can give it as 3, else I can give it as number. And you have a property called length property which measures the length of the array, and this is the length property we have to use. And before that, we have to initialize I. Now int I is equal to, I will initialize from 0, name it as high, and once I'm done with, I'll use while loop to do that. Now my objective is to print I, to print those numbers 100, 200 and 300 on the console using the while loop. Now I'll use the console.writeLine to call that writeLine, and I'll use number of I. Now once it comes here, 0 comes here and it is less than 3, that is the size of array. Number dot length of the array is 3. Yes, it is true, condition passes and it comes and prints this high, that is it prints 100. Next time it has to increment, so I have to increment that array. So I'll do that by using the increment operator I++, and here is the code to print these numbers in the console. What I've done is, first I've initialized the array and the size of array is 3, and I have stored 3 values 100, 200 and 300, and using the while loop I have to call all these numbers on the console window. So I'm initializing a variable called I and I'm storing a value 0 to it, and now I am passing the condition that 0 less than array length, that is 3, as the condition is true, it comes and prints the I value, that is 0's value 100, because number of I means that is 0, it is 100. And next it increments to 1 less than 3, yes it is true, it prints 200. And then 2 comes here, 2 it's incremented to 3 less than 3, the condition fails. No, next the 1 comes here, 1 it increments, it goes to 2 less than 3, as the condition is true, it prints 300. And next for the next increment it becomes 3 less than 3, condition fails, it comes out of the loop and prints the values on the console. To understand that, we'll run this program. Program is being analyzed by Avast antivirus. Let's wait for that. Yes, as expected, you can see it printed 100, 200 on the console. But to make it still efficient, I can use the for loop. How? Here in the while loop, you can see we are initialized, as in the presentation. We do initialization at one place. That is this. We do initialization at one place. We initialized I equal to 0 at one place. Then condition check at one place. That is this condition we are checking in one place, and modifying the variable at another place, and we are modifying this and incrementing this variable in another place. But the for loop overcomes all these issues while using for loop. Now I'm using the for loop. First I'll initialize the variable, that is j equals 0, and I'll give the condition also, j less than number dot length, that is it should be less than the array length, and I'll increment that j. You can observe here the clear-cut difference of while and do while. Your initialization is done at one place, condition checking is at one place, and modification of the variable is also at one place. But in the while, it's not that. You're initializing at one place, modifying at different place, and incrementing and modifying the variable also at different place. Now I want to print that. I'll copy this and I'll paste, but I'll change it to j. I'll initialize j first. Oh, I have to call this, I have to give the data type of it into j. As this is the difference between while loop and while loop and for loop. The major difference is the initialization, modification, and condition checking at different place in while loop. But in for loop, initialization, condition checking, modification all happens in a single statement. Now when I run this, both should provide the same output. 100, 200, and 300 is from for loop, and from here to 300 is from while loop. Thank you. Please subscribe to Ankpro training. Have a great day. That's it. Thank you.